Meow. No. That's the other one. Cats are not dogs.
Cats are not dogs.
That was the moral of the story at the end.
Well, do you disagree?
I don't disagree.
No, that actually holds water.
That cats
Holds a
are
lot of
not
water.
dogs.
Yep.
Cats are not gods.
We watched Cats.
I honestly, okay, wait. Let me break the ice.
Break the
on
ice,
this.
dude. Take the ice and just
Begin.
Cats is the kind of movie that, on paper, it doesn't sound like it should work. Like, it's something that just should not work.
also in reviews.
And clearly the reviews have stated, and honestly the reviews are all pretty much wrong, because this movie...
I can't even say anything positive.
No, not really.
I couldn't even begin that way. I couldn't even pretend.
I know. I have a couple positive things I could say, but I'm going to save them
even pretend.
till later. There's movies that are really, really bad.
Then there's this movie.
Where you walk
Yeah,
out.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
My point is where you walk out and you immediately start saying, wow, man, it could have been better if they did this or they did that or they did this. And honestly, with this film, the only solution that I see is that it should not have been made. That's the conclusion. I'm like, this shouldn't have happened.
It makes sense.
And isn't it so wonderful that a film that shouldn't have happened did happen, and it worked so well.
It worked so good. It was one of the best movies I've seen this year.
You've only seen a few movies this year.
It's actually definitely not the best movie I've seen this year.
It's actually the best movie I've seen this year.
Let's not do the joke thing. I don't like it.
I'm not joking.
I just don't like it.
I'm not joking.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I honestly, I feel like this movie should not have happened.
So
That's the fundamental mistake.
Yep.
Was trying to do this at all.
this is strange because
Could not have succeeded.
going into the movie, I thought, this is going to be a bad movie because of everyone says it's so bad, and then we watched it, and it's like the movie itself isn't like it's not badly executed, right?
No, I think they pulled off what the
What
play
they wanted to do.
is.
Yeah.
Like this is the play as a movie.
Yeah, and it's really not meant for movies.
Not at all.
At all.
It doesn't work as cinema.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's
It's absolutely
And I
terrible.
think even fans of the play won't enjoy the movie.
Right. There are other plays that have been adapted into movies, like Les Mis and what's the
Sweeney
Sweeney Todd guy?
Sweeney Todd,
Yeah.
Chicago,
Yeah.
there's lots.
And they all, I think, did okay. And Cats is like a surrealist kind of look at a film.
It's because, as it is, the play has a very thin storyline, if any. I mean, it's more of a experiential piece than it is.
It's like a music video, basically.
Yeah. And
the essentially
I think this could have worked as maybe a 30-minute movie. Like if they really just leaned into the music video vibe.
Maybe
and
15
made the visuals really interesting, like the weird coupling of really really uncanny deep faked looking video
visual effects.
Yeah.
mixed with a story that goes absolutely nowhere and doesn't really mean anything at all. It leaves you with like a very mindless kind of just a slog.
It felt very meandering. It
super
felt
meandering.
And at first, I tried to accept that as like, okay, it's like a dreamy, it's like a dreamy movie. This is just moving at sort of like dreamscape pace. But it was too much. Too long. Every piece was too long.
Yeah.
Every scene was too long.
Right.
So many sequences that just didn't do anything.
It's like a really bad.
Let's
David
meet
Lynch
another
movie.
cat, and we're going to have a show song about that cat. And now we're going to meet another cat, and we'll have a song about that cat.
Who was the guy that was? There was always, so we had the main girl, white cat, Victoria. Or whatever
her like spirit guide. The guy.
The guy.
Yeah. I don't know what the actor. I can find out.
That dude. That was the creepiest cat. I felt like
he was my favorite cat
in the whole thing.
I felt he was the only one that stayed consistent as a character.
I think he stayed consistent, but as far as creepiness goes, Very strange. His whiskers disappeared a few times.
That happened all over the movie.
Yeah.
Inconsistency was the biggest problem.
The CG was so terrible.
It really was.
And it's not just faces on cat. It was like basic compositing.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, you could watch their feet float
Yeah.
above the cement.
If you focus on their faces the whole time, then you might think, oh, this isn't
it's not too bad. It's a little weird.
But if you pay attention to their feet through scenes, you'll notice that they're like barely touching the ground, and they're like kind of sliding around.
Slide.
And it's just not right.
It is the kind of thing you see when you watch behind the scenes videos of major motion pictures, and they show you footage of work in progress,
the animatics, right?
Stuff.
Yeah.
So like in
you're like, obviously this isn't finished.
Right. In the Lord of the Rings behind the scenes, they have a bunch of footage of them gradually compositing Gollum over Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And there's like a late phase one where he's like still a rough version, but almost developed.
Right.
Where his facial features kind of are delayed on his movements and stuff. And that was about the same level as these effects.
It was, yeah. It was weird.
Which is why I have a theory that this film quit at some point.
I think you're right about that, because there was CG in here that felt unforgivable at one point. Like the whole scene in the house and the cockroaches and all that felt like a lot of it was really rushed in the post department.
My kids watch Disney Channel stuff all the time. The Disney Channel programming, the stuff where they make 20 episodes every 6 months, has better visual effects.
That's what I mean, yeah. I like that stuff. And during that part, actually, during the house, we talked about how their collars would slide and stuff. Like the one girl's
she had like a jewel.
She had something that, and it stretched. There was one point where it just turned into liquid. And I'm like, what? And then if you look at the other collars and chains around the other cats, then when they're stationary, it goes, like it jiggles, and like that's the kind of stuff that you look at an early model and you're like, oh, I gotta fix that.
Yeah.
See, I bet there was a test screening at some point in between principal photography and post-production where they hadn't gone very deep into visual effects.
Yeah.
They did a test screening where it was a disaster, and the executives decided to pull the plug. They're like, yeah, you can finish your movie, but not with our money.
I think that's fair.
I think that's what happened, because these look like unfinished effects.
Yeah.
To throw out an alternative possibility.
Yeah.
That maybe there was a lack of pre-visualization on how to actually implement the effects themselves, because it's not exactly motion capture more than it is like, I'm sure there's motion capture and tracking involved, but like it's these CGI, the CGI stuff is overlaid on top of live action stuff, which is kind of an unorthodox thing.
Oh, that could explain some of the stretching.
Yeah, so it's a little bit experimental.
Yeah,
I think.
It felt to me like I wonder if they shot it thinking that the actors dancing would be final, and then later they're like, hey, we could like augment their dancing and make it look more cat-like.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's what
that could be part of it too.
That does feel like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because it is weird. I mean, on the stage, it is danced for real by real people dancing.
See,
these are all real dancers. Right. Why do we need to CGI dance them?
That was a strange thing. So I listened to Folding Ideas, who's a YouTuber, talk about this movie before I came to watch it. Also, YMS, another YouTuber. And in Folding Ideas, he talked about the play versus the movie, and how you're seeing representational versus non-representational stuff. In a movie, you see things and the way they're supposed to be. Cars are driven off cliffs because that's crazy. But if you have that in a play, you'll probably use like a cardboard thing.
You see a guy holding a steering wheel walking around.
And you wouldn't use that in a movie.
Right.
Because you have representation. So it's strange to have people act like cats in a movie because they're supposed to be non-representational.
When you could show actual cats doing the same thing, more or less.
And honestly, dude, if they did just CG cats, just cats themselves, I would have had a better time, I think, at the movies here.
That would have been really interesting.
It would have been weird, right?
Although at the same time, the human cat hybrids were kind of hot. kind of hot.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about that.
There were a
real quick.
couple that I was like,
There's a.
it's kind of nice.
There's
Kind of nice.
there's something hilarious about some of the reviews. How people said that it feels so oddly sexual.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's not sexual.
It's not.
They're being cats.
They're just
It's just that
moving like
a
cats
lot of
sexual.
people associate sexuality with felines.
well, I think because they're all floaty, moving, and
Yeah.
ballet kind of looking,
Yeah.
and they're
though-
naked,
And the vagina is often referred to as a cat.
and they had intercourse on the set, so
It
was rated X. I mean, it was porn.
There
so.
was that one full penetration
right,
scene.
right.
Oh yeah. I guess it
I
is
forgot
kind
about
of
that. So
sexual.
I guess that is kind of sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there was that one scene. there was the scene with
Oh, the dog on cat scene.
no, not
Oh, the
that
cat
scene.
on mouse scene.
No, not that scene. Those were all good scenes.
The Judi Dench scene.
No, not the Judi Dench scene. She was the weirdest looking cat to me.
Dude,
Because she was wearing a cat.
Yeah, that's weird.
She looked like the Cowardly Lion.
She did.
She did.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, the scene with the tabby
I
cat.
actually
When the
liked
tabby
her.
cat was introduced.
Oh yeah.
And she's like on her back and like spreads her legs.
Oh, yeah.
And is like
grabbing
grabbing her
herself.
inner
But she's
thigh.
like-
Yeah.
She's like trying to do it comically.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
supposed
Well,
to be
that
like
was
comedic.
Rebel Wilson.
Right.
And she,
It's
that's
just
her
her.
thing.
That's
Like,
just her
like she's
thing.
like, I got to be goofy and funny.
Yeah.
And
Not funny.
It was-
Didn't laugh.
no, it was
Dude.
just weird.
There was some like hilariously bad jokes in there.
Oh.
Like the guy like landing on his nuts when I'm like,
Just
what? How
terrible.
old are we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is this like a movie for 5-year-olds?
Right.
I think this movie has maybe one of the worst action scenes of all time.
There's an action scene in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
What was that?
When they're all chained up on the boat.
That was a
And then-
really bad action scene.
And then
wasn't
she
action.
escapes,
And she
she's
starts swinging the
it
chain.
around,
And hits
and
herself.
it lightly hits her, and she's like, "Ooh!"
And then
they just kinda push
her,
him
hit
off.
the guy off the plank. You're right. That was really bad. That was really bad.
It's funny because this reminds me a lot of. I'm gonna make another weird bridge here to Mr. Robot.
Okay, well, why not?
In Mr. Robot season 1, at the end they have this really big, this quote really big looking shot where they have people in the middle of Times Square. Now Times Square you can't shoot at because it's incredibly busy, right? So of course they did a blue screen or a green screen and chroma keyed everything, so it looks very small, even though it's actually supposed to be huge. And this whole movie felt like that. This whole movie felt like it was supposed to be the sprawling
Yeah,
city.
it all
and
felt it was shot. You could tell
like
it was
super
all
tiny.
shot on a small
Some
soundstage.
backbone.
Yeah, a soundstage. Yeah, and I think I don't think that's good.
I don't think that's good. That's just not good.
That's just not good.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about the size of the cats.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
that just drove me crazy
scale
because
is nuts.
the cats morphed their dimensions
And
throughout
not-
the whole movie.
And not on purpose.
no,
Not on
it's not
purpose.
part of the story. It's just the scale
It just randomly
dramatically
changed.
changed
It's like they
throughout
just
the film.
severely underestimate. They severely oversighted scale in
That
pre-production.
makes no sense to me. It makes more sense when you talk about the rushing of the
Yeah.
post.
But this is something they would have had to have prepared
Like
for.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, with a movie at this scale with that many actors, you would
Right.
have to be like, well, they're
So-
definitely this size.
Right. So we have scenes where they look like 3-foot tall people. We have scenes where they look the size of an actual cat. We have scenes where they're the size of like
Of peanuts.
yes, yeah, like smaller than a
Really
mouse
tiny.
when they're walking on a railroad track.
That was so weird.
They
It's
were
just a really big
They were
railroad
literally
track.
as tall as the railroad track rail was wide.
I was gonna say, yeah, because the railroad tracks were big.
Which is this a railroad track for those who've never seen a train is about this tall, this wide.
Yeah, and they were just a little
And
bit
they're
bigger.
walking
smaller
on
than
it.
that.
Yeah. And I was like, what kind of cats are these?
And then another scene there.
They're perfectly human size.
And then
Yeah.
in another scene, they're half the size of a bike wheel, but then by the end of it,
Then they're a full size.
Yeah, then
they're
they're-
full bike wheel.
yeah, then they're all the way.
Yeah. Well, even in that, in the was it the tabby cat scene, the Rebel
yeah,
Wilson
in the-
scene,
in the
it's in a
house.
kitchen, like
Yeah.
So like
Human-sized
they're
house.
coming into this house, and she's up on the kitchen counter next to a loaf of bread that is almost larger than her.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, they're down on the floor under the table.
And she's like,
and
as
their
big as the
heads
table.
are like
Right.
to the bottom of the table.
Jeez, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I'm just like, how big was that loaf of bread? It's like a giant loaf of bread, man.
When Jason Derulo's cat came out of the house for the first time, when he went through the cat door, and he stuck his head back through, half of his body only came through, and because he was like seeing it at the camera. And then at the next scene that they go to a different door, his whole body goes through the whole door.
Yeah, right.
From top to bottom.
Right, yeah.
Like he steps through and like, what?
This would probably be a crazy movie to like on.
Do some drugs?
Yeah, do some drugs. It's the only way to enjoy
I felt
it.
like I was on drugs.
Some ibuprofen,
That might
some
have helped.
Tylenol.
Yeah, a little.
I
would
felt
help.
like watching this. I felt like I was at that point of a drug addiction where you know you need to quit, but you physically can't.
Jeez. That's really bad.
To that credit, I was going to say that, you know, the kind of videos that you play in front of kids just so that they're entertained for the day?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like for adults.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
It's like an episode of Barney.
Yeah. Like, I just put something on, and that's what this was. It was just them dancing around.
It might be kind of fun to go through this movie like really like scene by scene, shot by shot, and pick out
That would be interesting.
every little inconsistency and detail.
Yeah.
Because there's
Oh.
probably so much that
Well,
we're missing
Cinema
too.
Sins will make a video.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
they
And
probably
it's
will.
going to be as
Yeah.
long as the Cats movie. Yeah.
That's going to be the most sins in a movie ever.
Probably.
There's a lot of sins in this movie. There are
They
a
always
lot of
boost
sins.
their sins anyway. They're kind of bullshit.
That's true. You ever watch a movie late at night where you nod on and off throughout the movie, but you stay like lucidly, just
Yeah.
like barely aware that you're still watching it?
Yeah. So you don't know how the scenes connect exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what this felt like. It felt like I just kept waking up, but I never fell asleep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That being said, the lover of musicals
Yeah.
did enjoy pieces of the film in seclusion.
And as a hater of musicals,
Yeah.
I very much
Nothing
hate
that
it.
you would like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a sucker for that song, Memories,
Yeah.
at the end. You know, I can't not enjoy that.
So when there's always parts in plays, Spamalot did an interesting take on this. There's always parts in plays where they slow down everything, and there's one scene of one character singing a very long, drawn out, sad song.
Yeah.
And in Spamalot, they made fun of that, and
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. They're very self-aware.
Right. And I only thought it was hilarious because I already don't like that kind of stuff. But that was in here, and it felt like it was way too long. Like there was 2 or 3 times every time that the trashy cat came
Yeah,
out.
there were several.
Yeah, every time she sang, every single time it was a long, drawn out, sad song, and it was only sad because she was crying.
Yeah, no, there was no context given to
There's no
anything
context,
in
yeah.
this. I mean, there was one character who was clear, like the camera told us was the main character.
Right.
But I don't know anything about her other than she came out of a bag.
That was weird. Everyone else had collars, and she didn't. But she's an abandoned cat.
Because she was, they took the collar off.
Did they?
But why did the other ones have collars? Did the other ones
They all
have
belong to
owners?
homes. They're just out at night.
What the fuck's a jellicle?
Jellicle cats. They're cats that go out at night to
that's
go
what
out.
that is?
Go out. Yeah, they have families and they're out doing their thing.
Sounds
'Cause,
like
They
it
live
sounds like
double
Dr.
lives.
Seuss.
This is very Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Cat in the Hat movie?
Yeah,
He looked like that.
he did.
He kinda
And
looked-
I liked him better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that was a really bad movie.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch that over
I
Cats.
definitely would too.
Yeah.
I was less disappointed by Cats than I was by Star Wars. Now, I'm not saying that Cats is a better
Episode 9.
movie than Star Wars,
You're kind of saying that.
but I am saying I was less disappointed. Cats was more in line with what I thought it should be.
So
That's
when
unfortunate.
we went to see The Prodigy,
Oof, that was a bad one.
Which was, I think it's the worst movie that we saw.
Yeah. There's probably like 3 or 4 like worst movies we've ever covered, and
Yeah, I don't know.
Prodigy was one of
Winchester
them.
might be worse than Prodigy.
They're both really close.
They're like ties.
I don't remember anything about Prodigy. I remember some scenes about Winchester, and that was it. But what what I was thinking about was during the Prodigy, there was never a time that I'm like, oh, I hate this movie, I'm just going to walk out. In this movie, I kept doing that over and over. I just wanted to walk out. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
you
have
got
to
out of there
experience it.
so fast. You were like,
You're like,
the
I'm
movie
done.
ended and you're like, thank God. And you just left. And I'm like,
So, yeah.
wow.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that movies can be absolutely terrible because we've been seeing quite a few good
Some
movies
good ones,
lately.
Yeah, we've been fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't even think about. That's like a whole different kind of. That
Well,
lives
it's
in
not
a
even a
world of its
movie.
own. Yeah.
But we are coming out of award season, so it
Yeah,
was a
so
lot of good
quality
options.
stuff, yeah.
You know, and there's still some more to see.
Yeah.
So it's a bad time to put out a bad movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It is January.
Fuck you. It's January.
Exactly. Fuck you, January. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, this is not a video for kids.
Did we click the box?
I clicked
for
it.
that?
Just want YouTube to know it's not for kids. Making that clear right now.
Don't click the box, but we say it in the video.
Hey,
Don't click the box.
go to bed, kids. This isn't for you.
This is a adult hour. Adult Swim.
Adult Swim Hour. What do we say about cats?
Is there any more to say about cats?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Idris Elba.
I loved his character, actually.
So
No, wait. I loved his character in the beginning, the very beginning. That was it.
Okay.
I liked his look
Yeah,
in the
his
beginning. His look was probably my favorite.
How about when he
Yeah.
took off his coat?
Nope.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
that's
that
when it
was
got
weird.
bad.
That
That
was
was
weird.
got really weird. I'm like,
Oh.
now that part is a little sexual.
Oh yeah, he was like ripped. He had like a six pack.
Speaking of which, sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah, go.
Taylor Swift was cool.
Oh yeah,
I liked her part.
Yeah,
Way to go, Taylor.
She was pretty good.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
It's good to see more powerful female roles in movies like this.
In movies like this,
Like really bad movies.
what is a movie like this?
Taylor Swift was good. Yeah.
hold on. I was
Actually,
He's got a thought.
go ahead.
Idris Elba is the antagonist, and he just shows up randomly and makes people disappear.
Yeah, he does.
He just makes people disappear.
Yeah.
For no reason other than he wants to be the person who wins
The
American
chosen
Idol.
one. Yeah.
And that's all good. And he just shows up whenever it's need be. And then at the very end, when the person is chosen and she's flying off and the rope goes up, we get that moment, which happens in movies. It's a trope where the villain comes out at
And he's gonna fall down.
yeah. Well, the villain comes out and threatens the success of whatever the story beat is.
You didn't feel
Threatens the
that?
success.
Did you feel that, man?
Yeah, and so he's on the
I
rope.
was worried.
Yeah, I'm like,
And,
oh no.
and normally this is thwarted by a character, the hero of the story thwarts
No,
this
he
scene.
just slipped.
And
he just slipped
And falls to his doom on top of a statue.
on top of a statue, and then he's like, "Oh, how am I gonna get down?"
how am I
The magic didn't work anymore.
Now we can't teleport. Now he's just gonna hop off like
Killing
a cat.
him would be too heavy.
Can't have death in a movie
Yeah.
like this.
I was trying to figure out who this movie is for. Like, what's the audience here?
It's for nobody.
It's for Andrew Lloyd Webber.
It is.
I think he just made it for himself.
It is. It's
purely.
definitely for that. Because it
Yeah.
feels like Dr. Seuss, but it's not for
Which
kids.
that's what expressionist pieces are.
Yeah.
It's for
the artist.
and I think that's what this
I wonder-
is.
This ingenuity
Is he
gone
dead?
wrong, huh?
No, he's alive.
Oh, has he said anything about the movie?
Probably. Not that I've heard, but
I'd be interested if he thinks.
He doesn't like it.
I know that he was very involved in the making of that Phantom of the Opera movie, but he was not involved with this movie.
I hated that movie.
I love
Phantom
that.
of the Opera.
I actually like that movie a lot.
I really don't like that movie.
I really like that movie.
I really don't.
I thought it was pretty
really
good,
don't like
actually.
it.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty bad, actually.
Actually,
it
I
was-
thought it was pretty good.
Actually, I didn't like it at all.
I actually like that movie.
I actually
I
hated
actually
that.
really enjoyed it.
Actually, I hated that movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's pretty
Actually,
bad.
there were parts that were kind of but I actually liked it.
There were
That's
parts
true.
that
There
were
are
okay.
parts that are kind of cringe.
There were parts that
Yeah.
were pretty
Little
good,
cringe.
Yeah.
but overall it was cringy.
No. There's parts that were cringy, but overall it was pretty good.
Actually, that's true.
Actually, that's false.
Is it pizza time?
It's pizza.
Last point before pizza time.
Okay.
One of the weirdest things about this movie, full of very weird things,
Yeah.
was seeing
And not good weird either.
Yeah,
huge,
bad weird.
famous movie stars who often say no to projects that are beneath them, going whole hog.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell Idris Elba in performing,
Dude, he was in it.
fully believed
Yeah.
this was a great movie to be in.
Dude, Ian
Yeah.
McKellen.
Ian
All of them
McKellen,
were
It
like
was
that.
great.
Yeah.
Judi Dench.
Yeah.
They all wanted this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is weird.
That was
Yeah.
very strange.
It's like they were scammed.
It makes me feel like I missed something.
Right.
I'm like, Judi Dench and Ian McKellen thinks this is good.
The pitch was probably amazing.
yeah, I must be missing something.
I'm sure they agreed based on the phenomenon that is the musical.
Yeah.
Where they're like, it's a global phenomenon.
Right.
Cats. You can
With-
be in Cats the movie. It's like, well, of course I'll be in it.
The relatively acclaimed director.
Tom Hooper's
Yeah.
gonna come
Tom
do
Hooper,
it, which
yeah.
did Les Mis.
They're doing this cool experimental visual style.
On paper, it's really interesting.
And,
Seriously, on paper, it's really cool.
They were all like completely devoted.
But what's even more unfortunate about that is like all the performances are pretty good.
They are pretty good, yeah.
And I think that's one of the things holding this movie back from being so bad it's good.
Yeah.
If the performances were trash,
This would be
this movie
terrible.
would be like probably even more.
We probably
enjoyable.
would have enjoyed ourselves.
we would have liked
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know
That's
going in.
interesting.
I was like, is this movie going to be so bad it's good? But it wasn't because the performances were too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was almost let down by it not being as terrible as I thought. Because the reviews are so bad.
Yeah.
See,
that I was expecting just a complete dumpster fire. And it's not a dumpster fire. It's
Yeah.
just more...
It toted the line on dumpster fire, but it never went all the way. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
consistently a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Right. I just remembered Pet Cemetery.
Oh, that movie's terrible.
The last act of it had just
Holy
ridiculous
crap.
acting.
Yeah. It started good, though.
It started good, but
Sad.
the last part of it where you just laughed out loud at it. You're like, that's hilarious.
It was... Yeah.
The tone switched.
Yeah.
It
But that's the thing, like, I never really laughed at this movie.
I didn't either.
It didn't
No.
evoke that kind of response. It was more just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I almost laughed at the very beginning when the cat face was in the clouds. That almost made me laugh.
I did laugh at actually a few parts that I definitely wasn't supposed to.
And the really lame synth tones.
Yeah, well, again, that was tribute to the original score. You know,
They
'cause
went for lame
This
synth
is a
tones.
play that was, I believe, it was produced in the 70s.
Oh, 70s synths were lame. so
It definitely felt old. It felt like an old musical.
Yeah.
Definitely felt that way.
Pizza time.
Pizza.
Yep.
Pizza.
I'll go first. Hairball Pizza.
Wow.
It's a pizza covered with cat's hairballs, and people are like, "Cats are awesome. You love cats. See, a cat made this pizza," and I'd be like, "Oh no, I don't care how cute cats are. I'm not eating that."
But you ate the whole thing.
But then I ate
But
it
you ate
anyway because they were like, "It's so bad. It might be so bad it's good." But it was
Food that's so bad it's good.
Yeah, so bad it's good food.
You're just like, you're like, oh, that's hilarious.
Well, you know, like hot chili pepper masochists like
There you
you
go.
are.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Right?
All right.
It's like, oh, I gotta eat that. Gotta just see what it's like.
I just gotta do it.
And I'm like, yeah, it's as bad as they say it is. Crust was okay. The crust was all right.
Crust is all right.
Just the hairballs. ugh.
Eating hairballs.
Yeah.
I knew my pizza halfway into the movie.
Wow.
Do you remember Floam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floam.
I have Floam.
Okay, so it's a pizza made of Floam.
My kids have made pizzas out of Floam.
It's that.
It's like
Floam?
it's a play. It's like a play goop.
It's
Okay.
like Play-Doh except made of.
It's like it's got
Styrofoam.
like styrofoam balls in it.
Oh, okay.
And you can form it, and it's not sticky.
It's not sticky. It's kind of wet. And,
Kind of fun to play with.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's good
Not
stuff.
good to eat.
and so you so
Don't
you
eat it.
So you make a whole fun looking pizza out of it and just take a huge bite. That's
It'd have no flavor at all.
Nope.
And it's toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can make a crazy looking pizza.
That you can.
Yeah, like all the colors.
Looks really interesting.
Yeah.
My,
You can't separate the colors once they're mixed up.
You can't. Yeah, those little balls get in there and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
my pizza.
Do this.
My pizza is
Pepperoni
I've never
pizza.
seen you think about a pizza this
It's a
long.
pepperoni pizza. Except it's bad.
this is a movie where this is so hard. This is a really hard one for me to even give a pizza rating to.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
That's
I feel like I could
I-
think of a million disgusting things to make a pizza out of.
Think of how you experienced the movie and turn that into a flavor.
Into a flavor.
It's really easy.
It's easy. Just make a pizza. No, Taylor,
Trying
just
to
think of
interpret
a
my
pizza.
emotions into what a pizza might
Taylor, you
taste
do this
like.
every day. It's so simple.
By that, okay, I got it. This is great. This is a good one too. So it's
Pepperoni pizza.
it's a pepperoni pizza. No, it's so you got your crust. The crust is just regular average crust. It's not seasoned though.
Okay.
So it's just bread, and you got it in your shape, and the sauce is used motor oil,
Oh,
and
used.
yeah,
That's so bad.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
and then a Kraft like the Kraft bottle of Parmesan cheese. That's the only cheese on it, and that's
Over
all
motor
it is.
oil.
Yeah. That's all it is. That's what this movie was.
That's a really bad pizza. I gotta admit that's probably worse than Hairball Pizza.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that was, because it was just a slog. That's how I felt going through. It was just a slog.
Like if you had to eat that,
yeah, it'd be
every bite's
terrible.
like,
Oh gosh. Yeah,
I like those. Yeah, those are good pizzas.
oh,
Right
poor Tom Hooper.
there. I'm sorry, Hooper.
I hope he
I had
gets.
to do it to him.
Yeah. Condolences.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh man.
Sorry for the loss of your career.
for the loss to the movie studio.
Yeah, they're going out of
I
business.
guess they lost like 90
80 million.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah.
It's shutting down.
Yeah, they're no longer.
Universal goes out of business because of cats. They've been around for like 80 years.
Yeah, this movie.
One
killed
movie
them.
killed it.
Wow. Congratulations.
Film
you,
industry's tough.
you destroyed.
Could you imagine if all the Avatar sequels bombed like as hard as this?
Dude, that would be nuts.
Disney,
that would cause
Disney
it,
could
like,
handle
The
it.
economy would
They really
crash.
could. They honestly could.
When Disney puts out a really bad movie, it still makes $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
Like, we're a little
it's not going to
disappointed by
flop.
this. 900
They might
million.
be terrible, but they're not going
They're
to
not gonna
flop.
flop.
Guarantee that.
Solo flopped.
That was before Disney found their stride. And Star Wars.
They found their stride.
In
now.
Star Wars.
Wait, no. It's everything but Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Disney does not know how to do Star Wars, but they make money off everything else.
Yeah.
And they still made a lot of money off Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that is the
Which brings
Wars Hour?
Which brings us to Star Wars.
Star Wars hour.
Okay,
No, we're done here.
Now, how do we feel about episode 9 after a few weeks? A few more
Ah,
weeks.
yes,
of
we're
discussion.
visiting this. Let's end this episode because I think
Okay.
we're going to make another. So, bye.
Bye.
See ya.